Okay, the new era in Tennessee is well underway, and I don't think I've seen a team be this, active in the first day of free agency in a very long time. We obviously knew that, coming into this offseason, they had the second most cap space out of any team in the NFL, the first being the Las Vegas Raiders. But this is quite insane. They've just yesterday they made 12 different moves during free agency, whether it's retaining or signing free agents. And along with trading for Jermaine Johnson about 2 weeks ago, the Tennessee Titans have now made 13 roster moves in this off-season period. And not just that, they've obviously made these coaching changes where they have seen the future in Cam Ward as their franchise quarterback. They are convinced that Cam Ward is the answer to the Tennessee Titans' problems and is going to take them forward into this new era. Look, they have a completely new restart, a new reset. They are getting a new stadium, the new Nissan Stadium, which will be completed by next season. They're getting new uniforms, a new logo change. Obviously, those got leaked and it's looking very clean. But they've had the number one overall pick, last year, and have decided we are taking this forward. Cam Ward is our guy. He showed a lot of promise in 2025, and yes, we were the worst in the AFC South and arguably the worst team in the AFC and the NFL. We've now got the number 4 overall pick in the draft. The Titans are going all in for Cam Ward, and just with these moves, it shows you, they're taking this seriously. you know, just yesterday, like I've mentioned, they made 12 off-season moves. I'm just going to list them now for you. They signed Giants wide receiver Wan'Dale Robinson. That is a big move because Robinson's been a very key receiver for the Giants over the past couple of years. He's going to bring a lot to the table. Having that number one, that guy who is a guaranteed target for Cam Ward, it's going to be a big help. And look, it's not the biggest move in my opinion that they have made so far, but it is a big move nonetheless on offense. And if they can get one more big receiver, a big name guy who is proven, I think that's a guaranteed target because I don't see Wan'Dale Robinson being the wide receiver one for the Tennessee Titans. But stranger things have happened. Next, they signed defensive tackle John Franklin Myers from the Denver Broncos. Obviously, a veteran defensive tackle, a very big difference maker on, the Orange Rush defense last year that was a top 3 defense in the Denver Broncos. He was the veteran leader of that defensive line and of the defense as a whole. He brings a lot of presence to the Tennessee Titans defensive line. And along with him, obviously, they traded for Jets defensive end Jermaine Johnson about 2 weeks ago. That's 2 additions to the defensive line, just like that. And, not to move swiftly on, but they have the 4th pick in the NFL draft. Obviously, it's a very loaded defensive draft with the likes of Arvell Reese, David Bailey, Ruben Bain, even Sonny Styles could be a very good pick to take in the top 5. Those guys showed a lot of promise in their college careers and now in the combine. And with the draft under a month away, I could see the Titans going after one of those big name players in the NFL draft. I imagine they would sway towards possibly going for Jeremiah Love at running back. I mean, just a week ago, Jeremiah Love posted on his story showing that he was visiting the Tennessee Titans. He posted a photo on his story of the Titans facility. That could be an indication that things went well, because these guys are visiting a lot of teams, these top 10 pick projections, and Jeremiah Love's definitely a top 10 pick projection. But Arvell Reese, Ruben Bain, and David Bailey were the 3 projected to go, one of the 3, because Fernando Mendoza is the number 1 pick in the draft. We know that nearly 100% for certain. But from pick 2 onwards, it's all up in the air. It could go anywhere. Running backs are available. Linebackers and edge rushers are available. But with with them signing John Franklin Myers at defensive tackle, and obviously trading for Jermaine Johnson, a very, premier pass rusher, I would see them possibly going in the direction of Jeremiah Love. I think obviously Heisman Trophy candidate, was an unreal staple player in Notre Dame's offense, and a real stud on running at running back. A very big running back, very fast running back, and just a guy that brings production to the offense, obviously around Cam Ward. And look, with all due respect to Tony Pollard and Ty J. Spears, I don't know if they are running back ones over a guy like Jeremiah Love, at this stage. But moving swiftly onwards, okay, they've also signed a cornerback, Alontae Taylor, obviously a free agent from the Saints, a very good cornerback, defensive back, arguably a top 15 in the NFL. He was free, he was there to pick up, and they have gone and scooped him up. And, these moves, I was obviously watching live yesterday during the NFL free agency tracker, and they were making moves by the minute. It was crazy. Every 10 minutes you got a notification saying the Titans have done this, the Titans have done that. It was crazy to see. But Alontae Taylor, another addition, and another cornerback is Cordell Flott. Cordell Flott comes in from the New York Giants. Again, making additions to this defense. This is the thing I'm trying to say here is they're making additions in every position. You have a guy like L'Jarius Sneed at corner who's still on the Titans, a veteran, a guy who's won a Super Bowl with the Kansas City Chiefs. He's now essentially getting pushed to cornerback 3 because you have Alontae Taylor and Cordell Flott that are arguably going to play above him just due to his lack of production. Excuse me. So that's 2 very good moves at corner. Then tight end Daniel Bellinger also comes in. He will likely be the tight end 1 in Tennessee. They have also signed center Austin Schlottman, another free agent signing. And then guys like Cordell Volson as well have come in. Both those guys are on 1 to 2 year contracts with very minimal sort of offensive line contracts. Will they be starting offensive linemen? I'm not too sure. The Tennessee offensive line, not the best, but if they can draft well when it comes to offensive linemen and possibly sign a couple more, look, we're only 1 day into NFL free agency. There's still so much more to make. I'm just making this video because I couldn't believe how many moves they made yesterday. I mean, 12 moves in free agency on day 1 is nuts. And look, obviously a lot of those are retained. They've retained their long snapper Morgan Cox. They've retained defensive lineman CJ Ravenel, and they've retained guard Garrett Dellinger. Is it Dellinger? I don't know. Garrett Dellinger. But they've made a lot of moves. And with this new era and with the excitement of their future in Cam Ward, they are going all out. And not just on their roster, but their coaching staff. Obviously, the big news was obviously Brian Callahan got let go during last season and didn't make it to the end of the season. But they have picked up 49ers defensive coordinator Robert Saleh as their head coach about 3 weeks to a month ago. And not just that, they've brought in New York Giants former head coach Brian Daboll, an unreal offensive mind. So you have an incredible defensive mind in Robert Saleh as your head coach, and you have Brian Daboll, an incredible offensive mind as your offensive coordinator. And then you have Gus Bradley as is it Gus Bradley? Yeah. Gus Bradley comes in as their defensive coordinator as well. Which again, you're building a super team at this point. You've got Robert Saleh as your head coach. You've got Brian Daboll as your offensive coordinator. Cam Ward as a number 1 overall pick, quarterback for the future. You bring in guys like veterans, John Franklin Myers, Jermaine Johnson, who's a Pro Bowler, Alontae Taylor, Wan'Dale Robinson, who's very productive. You draft well. Again, they have that 4th pick in the NFL draft. And they can go either way with it because you've got who? The Raiders, the Giants, and the Browns. Or is it the Raiders, Giants, and the Jets ahead of them in the draft? The Raiders are going Mendoza. That's guaranteed. So you just have to worry about the Jets and the Giants, how are they going to draft? And the Giants have also made a lot of moves, whether it's signing or retaining guys, they've made a lot of moves. The Jets also making a lot of moves. We've got videos coming on them in the future, but that draft class is wide open now. And with Sonny Styles' performance at the combine, with Alvaro Reese, David Bailey, and Ruben Bain being dominant during their college careers, that's some very good picks to make on defense. But again, Jeremiah Love is there. I don't see them taking guys like Cornell Tate. I don't see Cornell Tate going to the Titans as a wide receiver one. I don't necessarily see Caleb Downs going as well. I know he's an incredible safety prospect, but I just don't see them using the 4th pick for Caleb Downs when they could address their running back, which is definitely more important right now for the Tennessee Titans. But yeah, look, they've been very busy and some incredible moves. They're clearly going all out here, the Tennessee Titans. They know they have a new era on the way. They know they have new logos, new uniforms, a new stadium coming, an exciting quarterback prospect, and they are deciding to go all out. So it's good to see. Obviously, we are only 1 day into NFL free agency, so we'll wait to see what happens, going forward. But I think we also need to address the fact that they are in a very tough division now. You have the AFC South, which, in my opinion, has always been a bit of a quiet division. You sort of don't really think about the AFC South. You think about, okay, who's going to win the division? They'll make the 7th seed and that'll be, the 4th seed, and that'll be it. But look, Houston Texans, unreal defense last year, made it to the playoffs, made it into the second round of the playoffs. They're a serious team if they can get CJ Stroud productive again. The Jags were an unreal team, obviously won the division, went on an incredible run. That's a real team now. Obviously, they've lost Travis Etienne, but they will pick up a new running back before the end of free agency. And then you have the Indianapolis Colts, who at one point this past season were the number 1 seed in the NFL and were 7-1. Obviously, we know what happens. They just completely plummeted after Daniel Jones got injured, and they traded for Sauce Gardner and everything went wrong. But the Colts are a legit team. They've got legit players. Obviously, Zaire Franklin has now left as well. DeForest Buckner probably on his way out. But nonetheless, the Indianapolis Colts are a very serious team. They don't have a lot of cap space, but they have built a serious team. They've franchise tagged Daniel Jones. He's likely going to be back for week 1 of the 2026 NFL season. I think the AFC South is a serious division now. With the Tennessee Titans building, the way they are, look out for the AFC South. It's going to be a very, very competitive division from 2026 and beyond. But yeah, that is the Titans' moves. Yesterday during free agency, a lot of moves, 12 moves, and then obviously 1 trade 2 weeks ago, and there's still more to come. By the time you're watching this video, there could be a chance that there's even more moves down in Tennessee. But we'll wait to see that. Obviously, the Titans are seeing their future. They're planning. They've had a strategy. You can see that strategy being put in place, and they're going all for it. So we wait and see. We wait and see what happens. Again, it's the NFL. Anything can happen. But the Titans have got off to a very hot start in NFL free agency. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on the socials. Look out for more NFL free agency videos. We've got videos coming on the Raiders, Giants, Jets, all the teams that are going to be busy during free agency. There will be videos coming for that. And again, obviously, free agency recap will be out, by the time free agency closes. So, excuse me. Look out for those. NFL draft is also in a month as well. But I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching, and have a good day.